So Starfleet Academy is good. Now, if you're someone who likes Star Trek in the 90s and you had your Next Generation, your plagiarized Babylon 5 and Voyager, Kai Wynn might be one of the most hate-worthy villains of all time. She's like a space J.K. Rowling. But Deep Space Nine was at its best when it was ripping off Babylon 5. We can all admit that at this point. If you loved those shows, maybe you've been checking out the new Star Trek shows that have been coming out, like Discovery, a show that had trouble figuring out what it was. It started off as this kind of weird brainchild of Brian Fuller until he got fired like he always does. And, season 1 was really unique. Season 2 was great. Season 3 was great. And then season 4 and 5 are what happens when a whole writer's room learns about nonviolent communication theory and mistakes that with a plot. Beyond that, Strange New Worlds has been fantastic, especially season 2. Lower Decks was way better than I thought it would be. Prodigy even was surprisingly good, especially season 2. And Picard, season 3 was great, even if it didn't make any sense. But I gotta say, Starfleet Academy is so much better than it has any right to be. It's not perfect. There's this one joke in episode 1 that, like, it's great, and then they do a callback to it for some reason, and the callback just really drags down the initial joke for me, and I assume for a fact that it was written by Tawny Newsome, and I know it would have landed on Lower Decks, but it just didn't land. Watching episode 1, I was hopeful for the show, but I was very much kind of like holding out, like, this has a lot of elements of Discovery, so is it going to be as bad as the later seasons of Discovery, or is it going to be great? And there were lots of things that made me think it was going to be great, like the new captain played by Holly Hunter. Absolutely love her. She might now be my favorite Star Trek captain. Sorry, not sorry. But I was really back and forth. Episode two had me so hopeful. There was, a little thing where, like, oh, straight love, blah blah blah. I don't care. But overall, like, episode 2, the end of it just gave me like such Next Generation vibes, like the smart episodes of Next Generation. Episode 3 was like so low stakes and goofy. It reminded me of those like Deep Space Nine holodeck or like playing baseball against Vulcans episodes. But it was cute and I liked it, and I liked that the stakes got to be ridiculously low. Episode 4, I liked the premise. I don't know if it really landed as much as it could have, but it felt really like Next Generation for me, which I loved. Episode 5 was like a total homage to Deep Space Nine. I'm not totally in love with the Sam character. Star Trek has had so many good autism coded characters like Data, Seven of Nine, the Doctor, Bashir. She hasn't landed for me yet, but maybe I will change my mind. But honestly, episode 6, oh my goodness. Every bit of, I don't know if this show is going to be great. It's gone after episode 6. It wasn't quite like a heated rivalry episode 5, but in some ways, you know how heated rivalry episode 5? You kind of realize later on that, like, the whole season has been building up to this episode. Yeah, that's episode 6 of Starfleet Academy. All of those little points where you were like, I feel like it's going too far in this direction. I feel like this is a bit much. I feel like it's too sunshiny. Oh my goodness, it just makes episode 6 hurt more, and it's great. Yeah, also, if your favorite character is not the slutty fish boy, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm really enjoying this show. It's a shame that Star Trek is currently owned by Paramount Plus, which means that it's owned by the Ellisons, which means that it's essentially owned by the Dominion. So that's why I'm not going to say that you should pay for Paramount Plus. I'm going to say that you should definitely pirate this show, but you should definitely pirate this show.